For those of you who don't know, Monster Rancher was a pretty big franchise in the late 90s, early 2000s. It had a very strange, kind of cult following, and for a lot of people, it really made a huge impact on them. So today, we're going to be talking about Monster Rancher, but specifically on the PS1, Monster Rancher 2. So before we talk about Monster Rancher 2 itself, let's talk about what kind of game Monster Rancher is. The best comparison I can make is back in the 2010s, there's a really popular genre of games. If you were younger back then, or maybe even just a regular gamer who liked to collect stuff, you were probably at least a little bit into the Toys to Life genre. Now, the Toys to Life genre was a crazy time. It came right off the heels of Guitar Hero, as far as let's buy a bunch of crap to throw in extra to our games. Now, these games really included Skylanders and Disney Infinity, and to some extent even kind of covered amiibos from Nintendo. If we're talking nowadays, the latest and maybe final iteration of the Toys to Life genre is probably Starlink. In fact, most people only got Starlink mainly on the Switch just to have a figure for Star Fox. I personally bought one myself for $5 on Black Friday just so I could say, hey, I have a cool model of Star Fox. But that being said, the genre itself involved you getting some kind of plastic toy, scanning it into the game, and then having it as a playable character that you leveled up in the game, and you saved it to the toy. And, well, Monster Rancher kind of has a very similar thing going for it. Now, I say similar, but, or I really mean to say is similar but different. Now, if you were in the 90s, you know some of the biggest things you could get toy-wise back then were Digimon or Tamagotchi, some kind of digital pet that you had in your pocket. This game plays a lot like that and draws a lot of inspirations from that. Now, if you grew up in the 90s and you had a Digivice, it was awesome, right? Your little digital pet, you could raise it, you could level it up, you could battle your friends. Well, then they came up with the next iteration. It did not catch on at all, and it was called Scanners. Now, Scanners is the closest thing I can get to when talking about Monster Rancher. In fact, while looking this up, I went ahead and found the commercial for Scanners, and well, it's maybe the most 90s thing I've ever seen. I mean, here's a raw clip from the Scanners commercial.
Just in, alien monsters from a distant galaxy have landed on Earth and are hiding in real barcodes on real products everywhere.
Scanners time! Let's go get them!
You can only capture them with scanners. Scanners let you scan any barcode.
Anyway, a lot of tood, a lot of crazy stuff. But then, now we have Monster Rancher. And Monster Rancher, well, let me just show you how this game works. So the crazy part about this game is the fact that you can import monsters from CDs. And one very cool thing about that is every CD in the world basically has kind of like a code built into it. I don't know why, for instance, but it actually makes it to where each CD gives you a unique monster. And basically, the way the game designers made it is the unique codes had a whole list of what monsters they would give you. Now, before I show this case off, I really want to thank my friend for letting me borrow this. My good friend Tommy, it's Thomas. My good friend Tom, he's the guy who let me borrow his case. Now, this is kind of something that only 90s kids will remember, right? When you had a game like this, you went all in, and Tom went all in on this case. So check it out. He went through and has each CD labeled with the specific monster that it gives you, which is pretty cool. But, I mean, this is really crazy, right? But that's not even the cool part. The cool part is I was looking through this case, and the creators of the game did have an awesome sense of humor. So some of these CDs are extremely specific. Well, they're all specific because they give you certain monsters. But, for instance, a FIFA game, FIFA 99, gives you a monster called Dribbler. Let's just go over here. Brave Fencer Musashi, really great game, by the way, gives you a Shogun. Mr. Domino gives you Dominoes. The Star Wars Episode 1 soundtrack gives you Galaxy. This is great. Oh my god. Terminator 2 Judgment Day gives you Metal Gel. I mean, it's nuts. They really went through Tiger Woods 99 gives you Birdie. We're going to go through some of these, but this is the kind of stuff that's really interesting. I can't believe that they would kind of go through and like take the time to make these so specific. I mean, another good one, the Little Mermaid soundtrack gives you Mermaid. It's just wild how they went through and really took the time to give you the specific monsters, but based on like what you're getting through through the CDs. I mean, Kung Fu Hare comes from the Rush Hour soundtrack. But anyway, let's show you how this actually works. So the world of Monster Rancher has a bunch of crazy stuff. Horned wolves, giant golems, huge dragons. So you have to imagine my surprise when I look down at Mariah Carey's Merry Christmas album and it says Satan Claus on it. And this is what you get. Not a fantastical monster or magical beast. Some kind of like weird midget with a candy cane shiv. Even the lady at the shrine is terrified of this thing. So after naming it Satan Nick, let's continue on our quest. The journey of Nick and I commenced with a bunch of training. We went through all sorts of mountainous, rigorous trials, which he failed at continuously, and went through some regular training, which he failed at continuously. Well, after that, I fed him some meat, as he has the bloodlust, and decided that it is time for him to go into the tournament. You know, the announcer for this tournament looks like really familiar, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But at this point in the game, it's time for me and Nick to jump in and crush the competition. These guys are nothing compared to old Satan Nick. I mean, look at him. I got the little candy shiv. And, like, look at this attack. He just, like, walks up nonchalantly and then, like, freaking stabs you. I mean, like, this guy's crazy. I don't understand how this character made it in this game, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, Satan Nick is incredibly weak and incredibly lost. Which brings me to the next important part of the game, and that is getting rid of old Satan Nick and blending him together with another monster to make something even bigger and even stronger. Of course, it seems like anything I combined with Satan Nick makes some kind of a horrible dummy puppet like the kind off of Goosebumps. Even the, even the guy who runs the lab is like, yeah, we'll take care of it, whatever. So with my last attempt, because I figure like something has to give me something different, a different species if I combine something else with it, I end up giving up because I make the gingerbread man from Shrek, and I can't remember the gingerbread man's name. I think it actually is Gingerbread Man, but I decided to just name him Shrek anyway. And that is when I decided to start the rigorous training of Shrek. Shrek, the gingerbread man to the stars. We go through all these perilous trips with old Shrek, going to the end of these gauntlet training facilities, and each one of them he gets stopped by something different. And that is when I found out that the real threat of these games is not the monsters, but the actual animals of the world. Yeah, that's right. At the end of every training location, there's just like a real-ass animal that you have to like battle. Just imagine being in the Pokemon world, like training your Charizard and your Blastoise, and just some like regular-ass dog walks by. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for the world, but that is what's stopping you from completing your training in each of the different locations. But we persevered. We trained hard. We climbed the mountains. We explored the deserts. We traveled the vast oceans. We went through the jungles fighting gorillas. Then we entered many, many tournaments and trained as hard as we could, grinding our bones to dust, sweating and working and toiling until we finally entered the Maple Cup. And for the first time in Shrek's short little life, he had finally won his very first tournament. But we weren't compelled to stop there. We had to keep on training. Until Shrek was saying he wanted a razor blade for some reason, so I don't know, I decided to give it to him. I figured he'd earned it, winning the tournament and all. But I really had no idea why he would want such an item, seeing as how he's a monster in a game. What? I don't know if that just happened to be coincidence or not, but hold on, let me look at this game. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be rated E for everyone. I guess I worked him too hard. Either way, it looks like that is the end of our journey with our good friend, late friend, Shrek. Hey, so that's Monster Rancher, though. A very strange series. Definitely a product of its time, but a very fun, very cool, nostalgic series for me. I mainly played the Game Boy Color game a lot. I don't know why I played that game so much, but this game is amazing. It's one of those weird things where, you know, if you happen to have a whole bunch of CDs, then it's always kind of cool just to pop one in and I'll see what you get. But hey, did you guys ever play this game? Or what do you guys think about it? Either way, drop that down in the comments below, because I'm very interested to see who else has played Monster Rancher. Hey, that's going to do it for us today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching, sticking around. If you felt any kind of way, please leave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. It'd be really cool. And hey, as always, take it easy.